Hello, it's been a minute since I recorded something, and yeah, I am in the month of February still. I think that's maybe where I was, or I was just about to start it at the last time I recorded. But man, it's been, gosh, I think it's like 2 weeks have flown by. Last week I took a coloring workshop with Ngozi Ukazu, who is an amazing cartoonist that you may have heard from her comic Check Please, which is really great. I only read it more recently, but it's super cute and really good. So yeah, she was the workshop instructor for this digital coloring workshop. I've done a lot of digital coloring. I've worked as an assistant on a lot of books, but her workshop was fantastic. I would take anything that she taught. It was really informative, and I learned a lot of things that I didn't know, and so I'm really excited to see how I might incorporate some of that into AOK. And yeah, it was a whirlwind though. She definitely made us work. Luckily I had with all the flatting under my belt, I was able to flat the pages pretty fast and just focus on like the colors and those decisions and shading and all of that. And also I learned for the workshop we had to work in Clip Studio Paint, which is a software program that I don't really use, but a lot of people I know really use it a lot and love it. So it was fun to explore that a little bit and see how it's different. And yeah, so it was kind of like having to do a bit of a crash course, and it was a good excuse to learn the program, because I'd bought it years ago and I just had never used it really. So that was fun. And then in the middle of that workshop last week, out of the blue, I got an email from 7 Days, which is the alternative weekly in the state of Vermont. And every July they do a cartoon issue, which I've done like 3 out of the last 4 years that it's come out, where basically they pair up cartoonists and journalists, and then they do different stories or articles. Sometimes it's like a review, like a music review or something, and the journalists and the cartoonists pair up, and they turn the story into a comic instead of a traditional article or just an illustration accompanying an article. And it's a really fun issue. And like I said, I've done it a couple times. I did a profile on a local business owner. I did like a paper doll of this musician who has a lot of different acts in Burlington. And then what was the other one that I did? Oh my gosh, I'm completely blanking. I did this story about microdosing on psilocybin mushrooms, which was not something I knew anything about, and it was completely fascinating. There was somebody who suffered from I believe they're called hurricane headaches or something like that. These really intense headaches. I don't know if that's what they're called. I can't remember. Not hurricane. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any. What were they called? I don't know. It was something bad, like murder headaches or something like that. And he just was suffering, and somebody said, "Oh, you just take like microdose on these mushrooms, and it'll help relieve like all the symptoms." And he found that it worked, and it's technically illegal where he lives, and so he started growing it himself. But it was the only thing that had suicide headaches. That's what it's called, suicide headaches. Yeah, so anyway, I did this. It's on my website, but yeah, I've always enjoyed these assignments. They're really fun. I used to work as a newspaper cartoonist, so I love seeing my work in the newspaper. It reminds me of the good old days, and it's usually in full color, which is really nice. And this year they reached out not to do an article with a journalist this year, but they asked me to draw the cover of the cartoon issue, which is so cool. I'm like, yeah, I just did not expect that at all. One of the editors had emailed me months ago and had said, "Oh, like you're in Vermont, and we usually contact you for the cartoon issue, but we don't have you in our general illustration pool. Would you like us to add you?" And I said yes. and I just never, I don't know, I just was like, nobody knows who I am. Like, what, you want me to do the cover? That's so cool. So yeah, I'm really excited. I sent in a couple of ideas, and I told them my favorite ones, and they picked one of my favorites, and I just drew it and sent it so that they can improve it or tell me any last little tweaks before I ink it and color it. And it's due next week. And so it was set to come out July 8th, which would have been perfect because Scullion was supposed to come out on July 7th, but I also heard this past week that Scullion has been delayed, sadly, only by 2 weeks. There was some sort of mislabeling at the distributor, Simon & Schuster, with boxes being mislabeled, and so the new publication date is July 22nd. I have to wait a little longer. Apparently, people may still get it on the 7th, but officially we have to say the date is the 22nd. So hopefully that will be the last holdup of getting this book out into the world. And also, because the books are at the distributor, it means that I will be getting my official copies soon. This is still the ARC, which I've seen the final design of the book, and it has like a different back cover. It doesn't have this red spine. It doesn't say free on the cover. There's like really cool title page. This is just like media contact information, and there's this whole like sketchbook section at the back, but it's just blank pages here. So I'm so excited to see it. I've only seen a PDF. So hopefully this week they'll show up. I'm gonna make some social media posts for like the last sort of stretch of pre-order my book, and I hope you like it and all that kind of thing. And also I got my publicist Tara sent me a thing saying that I got a positive review in the American Library Association's publication book list, and it's going to be in the print edition. Yeah, so it was a very nice review, and I did not expect, I mean, I never expect to be any of this, but it was very cool to be sent that, and especially like I was a little bummed that the book was being delayed a little longer, and so then a couple days later to get that positive review was a nice little feather in my cap. So yeah, that's very exciting. And I think the event possibly at Still North is still going to happen with the change date. Like, who knows? Because I'm actually teaching a workshop that week. Gosh, this is like going to be the craziest. July is going to be the craziest month, I swear. So yeah, Scullion is coming out on the 22nd. The week of the 20th through the 24th, I'm co-teaching a workshop for the Center for Cartoon Studies with Daryl Seitchick. I'm still in the middle of preparing lectures and whatnot for that. I had taught a different workshop 2 years ago, which has like a similar track, except it was for like slightly more advanced students, and so I can reuse some of my lectures from that and just like update them a little bit. But then there's some I have to make, and it's all cartooning exercises and super fun stuff that I've done a million times, either in my personal work or I've seen other people like teach these lessons, and so it's just about like making them my own, so it's my own voice and it feels like a natural presentation. So I still have time to prepare for that. It's just a lot on top of everything else, and also working on AOK, which is supposed to be what all these videos are about, although it's kind of just everything happening all at once. But I'm feeling good about AOK. I just wish I was further along. I'm getting close to the end, but changing things up a little bit in terms of the plot just took me a little while to figure out. But yeah, I think, yeah, it's officially longer than, or just right around, this is 160 pages, and so AOK, I think I'm somewhere around 150, 160 pages, so it's officially going to be longer than this book, which is really kind of scary. It's just a lot of work to draw all those pages and color all those pages. It'll all be amazing, but it's a lot of labor coming my way. Yeah, so I think that's everything that's been going on lately. That's plenty. Yeah, we'll see if I get through the month of July. Yeah, so I guess until my next blog. Although, a funny side note, since I did read Check Please and had a workshop with Ngozi, it does feel really funny to record a vlog, because her book is, the main character is a vlogger. So yeah, that was kind of funny thing to learn when I read that. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye.